All right, well, let's run through the draft real quick. Looks like Yeesh chose Back to the Classics. DeathTacticus chose Small Man's Revenge. DeathTacticus banned Courtyard, and Yeesh banned Tayan. So we're going to be starting with Back to the Classics first. I think that means that we'll be starting with Ballroom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they can, in theory, change the order of how they play their own picks, but we're going to be looking at a lot of big maps, really. We've seen classics and small men in most of the games that we've casted, and it's a lot of the 5 of 8s and a lot of the 4 of 8s, and you're missing out on the balconies, which we just experienced. You can't pick Smallman and just banana bread and claim a win. You're gonna have to play some real SpyParty, and I think that's what we really want to see. We want to see Yeesh and DeathTacticus play their best.
That's the thing, right? Because Yeesh hasn't really seriously played since the first couple weeks of SCL, when unfortunately just real life and sliding, unfortunately, just kind of cut his season short. He's tried a couple times since then in various events, but this is really going to be his first time playing in quite some time.
I will send them off on their way. We are gonna have a bit of a delay here, so we might have to talk a bit more, but we'll be doing this live.
We are doing it
And there we
live.
go. The picks and bans are on the screen. You guys can read, but we'll go through them with you. It's Yeesh going through Ballroom, Library, and Veranda, and Death Tacticus, Gallery, Aquarium, Redwoods. There's only I think one 4 of 8 missing here, and it's Tan. We have basically every single 4 of 8 and 5 of 8 here available.
I'm looking forward to seeing here. Death Tactic has obviously won Summer Cup, kind of a pretty major underdog pick, making a run through and beating Opie in the finals. Whereas Yeesh, again, just sort of a legendary player with a lot of experience and a lot of hype around him. So, what do you think is going to happen here?
Snipers. So I think Yeesh is generally going to be considered to have the better spy, but he's going to have a bit of rust. And I think both players are going to come in with really solid sniping. We might see someone win with just 2 spy wins, for example.
You say
But
that, but I would point out that Death Tacticus does have the aquarium and the redwoods, which Yeesh probably doesn't have a lot of experience on. And also, Death Tacticus did bust out some nasty tech on both of those venues, I believe, in the Summer Cup.
yeah, Yeesh is a bit of a nerd in this regard too. Like if there's things to do on Aquarium, Yeesh is gonna still be watching the cast. He's still gonna be picking up on those. It might be a bit of an execution test to get the timings right because they're not free in any sense. It's the only reason Aquarium 4 of 8 is still balanced is because they're still very difficult to pull off. But I wouldn't put it past Yeesh to show us something on Aquarium that we may have only seen once or twice.
Well, we're loading it. Looks like we have library up first.
Okay, we'll do a countdown then. If we're all good to go, we'll get this started in three, two, one, playing it.
Yeah, we've got Death Tacticus starting off here as Rocker, taking AI control and walking across the venue here. Looks like we're heat-seeking our selection target who goes to the side statue. We're not going to follow him, though. We're just going to go to windows and potentially wait and see where he lands, not wanting to go to statues early on here.
Yeah, it's something I generally associate with Dowsy is only going to statues if you can also get the flirt because the highlight is such a cost. Death Tacticus uh not going for that opportunity, and it's gonna be fair. We're gonna have plenty of chances to flirt. We don't need to rush things. This is a bug setup and a microfilm setup. We have lots of options here.
We don't take the bug, though. We're just sitting here behind the pillar, sort of, but not really very well hidden. I'm not sure if Death Tacticus thinks that he's hidden here, but we have the book out, and here comes the microfilm. Yeesh, however, staring down the other conversation circle and not visible.
Yeah, even with the microfilm done, the problem with even like a tricky play like this working is you still have to do another microfilm. There's gonna be a second time. We're just splitting out this conversation illegally, but Yish is not necessarily gonna catch that.
I don't think the microphone took, actually. I think we got distracted. Yeah, we're going to the back of the conversation circle now that cheese this up again. Because it didn't take the last time, because we got joined in the conversation circle, which interrupted our animation. But here we are, just behind the conversation.
That
We
laser's
get it.
there.
No problem.
If It's gonna be more of a behavioral read. You're like, okay, I saw someone, they disappeared, they came back. But Yish's laser was there. That pathing mistake was on camera too. DeathTacticus not having to clean his game here with 3 minutes left on the clock.
No, I mean, DeathTacticus, I mean, even despite his accomplishments so far, still probably a lot of nerves coming into the first game of a new tournament and playing someone with the accolades of Yeesh. So, not surprising to see a little bit of, a little bit of shakiness here at the outset. But nonetheless, still making good
Banana
progress.
bread.
At 240 remaining, we have Banana Bread done, we have two-thirds of our flirt done, and one microfilm in pocket. And we split out of this conversation immediately, doing a little cheese flirt there.
Yeah, we're doing the banana bread into the flirt, into the split, and what it looks like to the sniper potentially is just we white tested and then split on a banana bread, but we did get the flirt in there. It's one of those things. It's really hard to figure out the actual risk of it, because you're getting two missions. Oh, we're doing exactly the same thing. I
We
don't think we're
got we
behind the
got
pillar on
highlight
this one
through the
either.
pillar.
Yeah, the problem here is Yeesh is really patient. Like, we had the banana bread. You can assume we have the flirt. The book has to go back at some point, which might be the reason for shot. But even then, we definitely haven't been to statues. We definitely haven't taken the list. We would see that gone. There's no reason for Yeesh to take this shot if he's only 95% sure, 99% sure even.
But Yeesh making sure to keep us on camera, basically, just flicking back to us every couple seconds. And as we come back in the conversation circle, we're going to flirt again here. Hopefully get that mission done. Now that it's 99%. Yep, there's 100%. And we just get shot immediately for flirting.
Yep. Could have shot for the microfilm, but the going back to the exact same location here, I think is in part what did it for us. Yeesh just going, well, you're trying to flirt behind the pillar. It wasn't truly behind the pillar. Maybe that's part of the problem.
I think Yeesh saw us disappear behind the pillar and actually not enter the conversation circle. I think Yeesh knew that we were doing some cheese back behind it, and that's where the shot came from. Because Yeesh certainly had a good mission count on us, I have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few players I would trust to count better than Yeesh, but it's a short list. He's really got a good grasp of any party that isn't just you causing a lot of mayhem.
Yeah, because even if we're credited with a bug there, that's still only 4 missions. So Yeesh just aware of the cheese taking place, like right in front of his face, and not having any of it.
Yeah, I do appreciate where Death Tacticus gets their inspiration from. A lot of the plays that we've seen from them in Summer Cup and in this game come from people like Pofke and Urend, who are really lethal snipers who have found a few ways to win spy games on uh and without having to play like a necessarily just really classic solid game. The problem here is if you're trying to do things that Urine does, you should played Urine a good 4 or 5 different sets competitively.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I mean that's kind of the book that I have on deck, at least. Really good, just technical player all around, and spent a lot of time focusing on sort of these cheese plays and the tech to sort of steal spy games potentially. But unfortunately, that little pathing error there right on camera, as well as the few sort of more intentional pathing things of just not getting into a pad behind the pillar, all of them were on screen. Unfortunately, DT's timing on those plays just not ideal.
Yeah, I mean the hope there with the one that we have behind on the behind the hip pillar on the second time is that the ambassador is on the other side of the party. But the second biggest, most important thing is Toby because the list is still there, and so Yeesh has plenty of reason to be over here. You really want on library the ambassador and Toby to be on the other side of the party, so you can pull off your plays without having the laser expected to be over your head. We are starting up our second game of library. I will get us counted down in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we have Yeesh here as Bling Twin. Yeesh notable, of course, for loving the twins, and this is kind of just starting things off right for him.
Yeah, so I have the statistics for character selection, and it's hilarious how much Yeesh does one twin more than the other. It's twin. I think it's. I want to say. I don't remember which twin he actually likes anymore. Goodness. One twin is like 10%. The other 10 twin is like 2%. And if you think about like say 20 pickable characters, you'd expect about 5%. So that's like his most popular character and a character that he barely picks.
Yeesh with a green timeout here to start things off. Um, as far as the character selection goes, as I recall, like the stats show that even with the entire community, the conversation circle gets blocked here. We do a little stutter into it, but I think we're fine. We pick up sort of a far flirt here. I think Blink Twin is just more popular than Plain Twin, like
Yeah,
with a statistically significant amount.
if you compare the characters who are when you're in your character selection in the middle of the screen versus the characters who are on the outside of the characters who are on the inside of the screen get picked more, despite the fact that someone like Seek or Queen are actually some really good characters that end out on the edges. They get picked slightly less than say their equivalents. The most obvious is obviously the twin comparison because it's like there isn't any difference other than you like bling or you like being a bit more conspicuous without the bling. Fingerprintable book here. This will get us started. We have some mission progress, but really with the time add in pocket, we're kind of relying on it slapping that book and it's on camera.
With the ambassador right in front of us, that seems like a really interesting choice by Yeesh there. Maybe just misreading the sort of the rhythm of DT's laser. But either way, we're not shot for it, and not even highlight, so maybe we're okay.
Yeah, I mean sometimes the laser uh is confusing. They're using their highlights for remembering something else. Maybe it's the other twin is just more suspicious. And maybe they just missed it, but you don't necessarily rely on that too much if you're playing against
Okay,
someone like
Irish.
DT. I love AI sometimes.
Yeah,
I
but
also hate AI sometimes, usually when I have the sniper rifle in my hand.
also true. Although, let's be honest, the AI, especially the cast AI, can be very, very cruel to you sometimes too. To all of us.
Toby's coming. There he goes. Toby had
Alright.
no one to go to for about half the map there, which kind of looks like a request. It would be kind of unfortunate if he comes straight to Yeesh here, because it just looks like we're setting up a purloin.
It does, but we're going to red dress first here as we finish our flirt. Not finishing it, 92% unfortunately. You just can't not hitting those green as we just split mid talk. I think DT saw that.
Yeah, Yeesh historically has a really strong reputation of hitting green tests. There's been people who've hit more since, and I think Rust obviously doesn't help if he's having uh, different problems with lag or sliding too. That would definitely throw you off.
Well,
Another
making up for
fingerprintable
it with
book.
two green tests in a row here. First on the fingerprint and now on the microfilm as we finish off the microfilm as well. Not on camera at all as the book gets put back in.
Yeah, we could have afforded a white test there, maybe even a red test. Just DT, just nowhere near us on that microfilm, and it's in part because Ambassador's just kind of in a dangerous spot there from someone like Smallman or Cowboy or the other twin.
The question is really if we're credited just having been seen at two bookshelves though. Um, Here comes the highlight. Yep, switching the highlights from the other twin into us and now zooming in to search for that swap.
Yeah, you do not appreciate this laser over your shoulder when you only have 2.5 missions done. If it was your final mission, it's like, ha, you need to put that laser on my head, buddy. But here we know that we're being watched, and we're gonna have to do something a bit clever. Inspect swap here to end the game is probably not that answer.
No, and also we still have to finish our flirt as well at some point, but our seduction target just screwing around with the briefcase here, finally putting it down, and then going into the bookshelf. And we really don't want to go to a third bookshelf here, I don't think. So instead, we're just going to go hang out at the bust and wait.
We did yellow bookcase already, right?
No, we did green in the middle and then blue on the far side, I
Oh,
think.
we've done the full Monty. We visited all three bookcases, which is a Steam achievement in
Someday.
2022.
Yep. Look at the ambassador, very buggable position here. And red dress sort of doing the bug path right by, but pretty clearly not bugging, so I think we're okay. And the laser keeps swinging back over us to us as we go into our statue here. This has to be an inspect swap finish here.
DT could have waited a bit more time, but he's sure on it. Just not really wanting to give Yeesh the chance. And when you're right, you're right. The green arrow above his head does indicate it's a good shot. It looks like we're going straight into this gallery game. Let's do it in three, two, one, playing it. Any last thoughts on the library game before DT does a chaos bug?
Honestly, not really. It was a pretty standard game on both sides. You know, Yeesh just finding those fingerprints and finding spots for microfilm. So we're kind of surprised Yeesh didn't go for a bug, but I don't think Yeesh is really one of those bug-centric players as much as say Opie Writes is. So that kind of makes sense. And otherwise, DT just tracking well who's going where and with a good mission count taking the shot.
Okay, we got DT returning the briefcase. We got 21% flirt. Quick start for a few bit submission progress, which is important on gallery if you put yourself in. a spot where you need to do lots of things, the map will end up being huge, and you'll walk 30 seconds to your selection target, and they will bail on you. It is guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the AI can be infuriating, and I think for a spy gallery is definitely one of those venues where that happens the most. Um, as you just said, characters will split on you constantly. And with our green book in hand, we're going to go into the back of the back conversation circle, waiting a long time to pick up this flirt.
Yeah, so we're risking it there. So we know that the seduction target will potentially leave after taking the drink. And so what I would have liked to see there is a flirt as the seduction target is taking the drink, making the time as long as possible without ever actually giving them the opportunity to leave.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We're okay. I was going to say that we are idling, but no, we're going to go back and just instantly return this book. It looks like, unless we do sort of the cheeky microfilm on the return instead. But if not, this is kind of just fishing for sort of a low light, or maybe a mental low light from Yeesh.
Yeah, when you're playing a twin and you do something like this, you might just get the credit of being the less suspicious twin. Like we saw in that library game where we got upgraded to a highlight and the other twin got put down to a neutral light. If us and the other twin were both highlightable, we would potentially be the less suspicious and the one who gets the neutral light. This is not a brilliant spot in the pad, but it does set up for something like a purloin.
Yeah, the double agent is in our conversation circle too, and we definitely want to get that off because again, gallery things happen. So if a conversation, oh, here it comes anyway. We're just gonna fire it off. It's a white test, unfortunately. So we are seen talking. A few lowlights coming off here. Not the greatest. Oh, we're just getting
Put
shot.
me in the
Okay.
red.
All right, Yeesh.
Yeesh on it. Good stuff from him. He had 5 or 6 lowlights to take. He does not get distracted with the lowlights. All he ends up doing there is the uh, protection of the banana split, sees the split, and then sees the intent, the ambassador being bugged. Great shot, and we are in a spot where it's just been snipers so far, which is what I said was going to happen.
You are, as always, a genius.
False. Okay, how many twin games is this?
So this will be the third one in a row. That's fine. This is normal.
There are twice as many twins. It's not like if you're taking back and forth Smallmans, like, it's twice as likely that this is random. It's not. It's absolutely not, but it's twice as likely.
All right. Well, why don't you count us in, and we can talk about the math.
In three, two, one, playing it.
We're telling that Yeesh is changing form here and is now Plain Twin instead of Blink Twin like he was on Library. So really, Yeesh is just making all sorts of changes here, like a wild
Yeah,
man.
the important changes. Your jewelry of choice. What's your
All
favorite
right.
piece of jewelry in Spy Party?
Well, I feel like mentioning that we just picked up the highlight. That's a twin
Why
highlight,
wouldn't
I
you highlight?
assume. Twin
Oh, that's
highlight,
not
but
fair.
I think we were suspected for flirting there, which we were, but our selection target bailed on us, so we didn't even get credit for it, unfortunately. So, that's too bad. Um, to answer your question, though, Pearls is Pearls, fantastic. Cowboys belt buckle, fantastic.
You
I'm a
found
fan
the
of
correct
both.
answer, second try. The answer is the SP belt buckle there from Cowboy. Uh, Probably the most meta thing in the game, right? It literally has SP short for, we assume, Spy Party, and not his initials.
Maybe, and yet, see, this is one of the unknowable things that Checker will never answer to keep that air of mystery on. We just cheese flirt and bounce. It was kind of visible on screen, but really no reaction from DeathTacticus as we talk and just leave immediately.
That's a wackadoo path, but we're gonna get our inspect here. With already having the highlight, we'd usually expect to get a highlight, and DT does at least put the laser on us. So you might not realize that he's already been highlighted.
Okay, well, you just green swapped
Uh-oh.
the statue facing the sniper, so that's a bold choice.
There's a concern here that Smallman might be the one who picks it up, and I'm not sure who it's going to be more concerning for. Smallman usually not great for swapping because he won't body block it. No, it's going to be Duke who will. Hopefully the fade's not seen
No,
if you're a Yush fan.
this is gonna be boots, and the fade
Oh,
is
Boots.
completely visible.
Ooh, ooh.
As we go to our next statue, DT not shooting yet though.
Yeah, we got the left-leaning check on this statue for swap, which means the front-facing might actually be getting away just because of how brazen it is.
Yeah, I don't think DT not okay. So DT's taking the lowlights right now, and so it's going to be down to us and Boots. It looks like, but DT does not see the swap and is not sure who he should be crediting for that swap. So now we need to find one more flirt. We picked up a time that time is about to expire. We need to pick up one more flirt, and we need to get boots in for the banana bread desperately.
So we stopped the seduction target from going to the briefcase, which saves us a bit of time. But unfortunately, Twin is marginally faster than Red Dress there, and we just couldn't find a way to figure out where Red Dress was going, or stop her from going wherever she was going to get the opportunity for the flirt. We have 2 minutes. We'll still get the flirt at some point. No, we won't. We will
What?
absolutely not get the flirt at some point. Just shot for talking,
Yeah, what was that
or
shot for,
maybe it
Pwn? I
was
don't think we even start. We didn't
long.
even start talking there. I don't think.
How long was the Toby behind us potentially? I think that might have to be it. The other option, by the way, would be Boots doing something that is so AI-like that if we have it down to two, we've decided, okay, it's not Boots, therefore it's Yeesh. But I think it might just be that we rejected the drink
That's
or
a
something. I
that's a
don't
fine
see us.
reject though. Maybe we got credited for a reverse drive-by there.
Yeah, with the ambassador going behind us, there's a few options, but I think it's the sort of thing where the sniper knows what they want to do in life, and it's shoot spies, and we don't know what we want to do with life because
Dead.
um we're voices in the I don't know. What do you want from me? I can't figure out this joke. We're gonna cast ballroom. I'm gonna pretend like morning track, and we're gonna do this in three, two, one, playing it.
So, speaking of the best jewelry, DeathTacticus here as Cowboy. Thought we were going to go to the statues, but no, we're just going to go to the pad next to the blue bookshelf here and wait things out. Probably going to go to our selection target next. The Ambassador is not really buggable, as Yeesh keeping a eagle eye on that. We're just going to go step into next to our selection target, pick up this early flirt, and suss things out from here. 34% on that early flirt now. The Ambassador, again, kind of in a buggable position here if we can get a distraction from Toby or someone else. But no, we're not going to take it. We're just going to walk away and let's up. Looks like we're just going to go to the other pad next to the green bookshelf this time and wait
Yeah,
things out.
of painting pads that you can go to just reset your flirt. There's two of them, maybe three of them, but this was one that was the furthest away, and most importantly, didn't give us a path near the ambassador that if we're not planning on bugging.
Now, we are jammed in here, and I think this might be barely in range for a standing bug.
It is very close. Um, eh, Opportunity gone anyways. Ambassador has left us. We have 83% flirt. We do have some people who are doing stuff. There's a couple highlights in general. Should probably take a highlight for middle statues. Yeesh not even given general the highlight. Something is up with our sniper. He's being a bit more clever than our regular sniper. Or, just missed him entirely.
Entirely possible, but yeah, Death Tactic is playing things slow here. Just timer flirting this. We're rejecting a drink. And we'll pick up this flirt once the cooldown expires, which should be any. Yep, there it is.
Okay,
The sniper
bye-bye.
target leaves as soon as the cooldown expires. We even take a little bit of a buggy path there at the end. And then Double Agent bails on us too.
I think it's a belt buckle. They're like, dude, your name's Carlos. Why does it not say something else? And then they go, well, I can't do CP for obvious reasons. That was a terrible joke. We got 83% and nothing for us right now. We could purloin here if Queen rejects. Nope, we're out of here again. We're not going to get a banana bread. This has to be statues.
For avoidance of doubt, you're referring to Cyberpunk, of course, which is not this game. This is Spy Party.
What is Spy Party going to look like in 2077?
Well, we're red testing, so that's certainly a choice that we've made. Yeesh is not reacting to it yet, but okay. So we're fine. This is fine. We're just gonna go finish off our flirt in the far conversation circle. Um, and yeah, we have swap and seduce them with 55 seconds left.
When you say this is fine, there's only two options. One is actually fine, or two, it is us as a dog in a burning building going, yeah, this is fine. We have not been shot yet, though the laser is on us, I think, for the rotation. Yeesh is one of the few people who will rotate all the way right on ballroom. Most people will stick just on the front side of the building.
We're going center statues. So if Yeesh wasn't sure right now, this is about as spotlight a play as we can get, especially with the fingerprint on the statue. But we're finally just picking up a highlight now. I feel like maybe we were fine from that
We're being
swap.
swap watched, and it doesn't feel like you should realize that the swap has happened on the other statues. We still need to find another mission, though. Banana Bread would do it. Also, wood
Banana
fingerprint. It's gonna be
bread.
the banana bread. This needs to be the shot. It's gonna be a hat shot, and there we go.
All right, so Yeesh maybe just being very patient, as you had alleged or alluded to earlier, with a strong mission count, not worrying about it until the banana bread comes off.
It's such an absurd mission count, though. With the fingerprintable statue there at the end, we're assuming that Yeesh, if he has a correct mission count, has also uh, not dropped a fingerprint. And the concern I have with that theory is he was still very
Banana
rotated
bread.
over, like he was watching for a swap when swap has already happened, which doesn't really add up with our casting narrative. More ballroom?
More ballroom. Let's give it a moment to finish the replays, and then feel free to count us in again.
Yeah, we got Yeesh. It's going to be standing in front of the green bookcase as Irish, a bit of camouflage. And we'll get this started in three, two, one, playing it.
Yep. Yeesh. Taken into the bookshelf and immediately walking away. A bit of an awkward path, but it's chaos time and it's fine. We're going to go flirt instead, standing across the conversation circle from our seduction target, Red Dress, who picks up an early highlight here. Maybe for suspected of flirting with Queen herself.
Yeah, and we're seeing the reward for this 27% flirt is unlike Queen and Red Dress, we're not getting this highlight. Yeesh,
Ooh, Queen with that bug path, too.
no highlight yet. I think we're expecting these guys to be doing more regular like statue highlights, maybe fingerprint highlights. That we're seeing a flirt light from DT is very interesting and I think novel.
Yeah, I mean, DT is still in the process of sort of evolving his game. I mean, he's one of those players who's just put in just a ton of games in the short time that he's really been playing since he, I think, had like less than 500 when SCL started. He's just put in a ton of games and has just been sucking everything up kind of like a sponge. And that includes his sniping style. Like, if he's starting to pick up some behavioral stuff from certain behavioral players who I won't name, then that could be huge for his sniping going forward.
On the topic of people pulling up stuff from behavioral errors we won't name, Yeesh doing another time ad. I think this might be like third or fourth time ad throughout the set in as many games. Into innocent drink? No, fingerprintable drink here. This will put our first mission that isn't flirt on the board. It's only 27%, and if it wasn't for the time ad, we'd actually be kind of behind pace.
That's true, but again, ballroom is definitely one of those venues where you can get a lot of mission progress done real quick. Whether you can find like a bug in a purloin, or just a bug into statues. The constant here is bug, of course, but I mean, ballroom is really not that big. You can get a lot of stuff done pretty quickly if you have the mind to.
I feel like this is the first time in this set that we've seen a seduction target come to us. It is about as far away as possible, but we'll take it. 53% on the board. Drink in hand is limiting our options. I would like to see just maybe a sip and a gulp. Don't necessarily just stand around with it in hand all day. Fingerprintable briefcase. Are we just putting it straight down? We are.
Yep, kind of hiding behind pillar, and the ambassador was moving, so that's maybe defensible, especially if DT wasn't completely on top of the action there.
Banana
We're
bread.
just gonna we're gonna fake banana bread right here, right now. A lot of lowlights coming off though. This maybe is not ideal, and I don't know how much credit we're being given for it.
Yeah, so when it's just us and seduction target, we know that it's gonna be fake banana bread. The problem is Twin was there, if not during the banana bread, shortly after, and so I don't think Yeesh has been credited for the fake, and definitely isn't getting the low light that you'd want from doing a fake banana bread with just one person.
No, that's definitely true. I mean, the party again narrowed down. 5 lowlights coming off of that, leaving slightly over half the party available. We're picking up the bug as we walk by. Okay, yeesh. All right.
Yeah, that was a true bug path though. Like you'd expect that sort of path to go to the statues, but Yeesh choosing to go to the painting pad to really enforce the hiding of the arm. It feels like DT was on it, but he doesn't have the count for the shot. Maybe a bit concerning. The second banana bread might
Banana bread.
do it. It's gonna need to be shot right now, and it's not
Lowlights coming off
coming.
though. Yeah, DT was shaking the camera a little bit.
Highlight,
Not
but
surprised
highlight's
to
not a
be.
shot.
No, we're gonna get away with this. Yeesh pulling off the
Let's
bug.
go, Yeesh. It's one of those bugs where really double downing on hiding the arm and really showing a really bad path, but with I think maybe the prints were the issue where we just snuck in a print because it really felt like DT had a good count on us and was really considering the shot, but just one thing missing, and I don't think it was the bug. I feel like that laser was really suspicious of that path. The arm did go straight through the ambassador too.
Yeah, and after that bug too, like DT's laser really showed his frustration there. Like he shook it real hard, just staring in at that conversation circle. I don't think we were a suspect though. I think the other people in that conversation maybe were. Like DT maybe suspecting a standing bug there and all the chaos. But nonetheless, like clearly the bug not that suspected since we get away with it after the immediate banana bread upon conversation circle entry.
I think this is also potentially part of the value of the fake banana bread, which at the time really wasn't a great banana bread. But by the time that you're doing the second banana bread, you're putting a lot more question marks on the game for the sniper. It's okay, is this the real one? Is this the fake one? Did if it was Irish as an AI, did Yeesh see something that makes it where he wants to also give them a fake and they might get shot? Either way, Yeesh takes the lead here. Not to be unexpected, like 4-2 is a pretty reasonable wager from before the set, but these guys have been so even since we've started that Yeesh pulling away here might really mean a lot more than what is usually just a 2 game lead.
With that said though, it is Aquarium where again DT definitely has some tech here and Yeesh hasn't doesn't have a lot of experience. So I think that DT has a good chance to pull this back.
And we have redwoods in the future too. It's going to be fun. DT as queen, and we'll get it started in 3, 2, 1, planet. So, question for you, Sped Monkey, while we go and stalk our selection target real hard. Uh, why does Aquarium have much better art than Gallery?
Um, that's a really good question because gallery is it's an art exhibition from some of those insufferable like minimalist, Bauhaus, whatever
Mm-hmm.
artists, and that's really kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
Okay. Uh, what do you think the purpose of having 6 of the same bottles, but one of them 20 feet in the air is?
Aesthetic, obviously.
True. DT 34%. A couple highlights for Yeesh, but really just a quiet aquarium start and kind of in pattern with what we've seen from DT. He hasn't been forcing things early so far.
No, I would agree. I would be surprised if we don't see some sort of shark play, whether it be, the cross conversation circle bug or of course some, game ending shark cheese. But this seems like DT's sort of type of venue and exactly the type of place that where he would be playing to sort of pull something out to catch back up and hopefully stay in this set.
Okay, banana bread is potential here. It would be nice to have 3 of the highlights from Bar come into the conversation, and it would be nice to have a double agent who doesn't immediately bail. There is another benefit to being in this conversation, though. This is where you expect bugs to happen from, but it's the middle shark right now, and it looks like we might miss the opportunity. Ambassador's coming nowhere near us. DT not getting the shark play here on this first middle shark. We'll see 2 more of them, though, here later in the set. And obviously, DT can always do time ads if he wants more of them.
All right.
This is potential swap.
Yeah, looks like because there's a fingerprint on the other statue, and we're going. No, that's just an immediate swap. Okay, we're going for the frame right off the bat, and this is going to narrow the party down to two if Yeesh is aware of it. Okay, there's a highlight, but no lowlights coming off. Zooming in, the statue's seen. All right, let's see what Yeesh's response is.
So he doesn't have to take all the lowlights, but he's definitely onto it. The only question we have as casters and as the audience here, and thank you for joining us and for 3 sets, by the way, is does Yeesh really remember who was at that statue before? Is it just going to be the highlights? With the highlights going down, it really looks like it's going to be down to 2.
It really should be, but Yeesh not taking all the highlights, maybe just the ones that he's absolutely certain about.
Banana
But
bread.
here comes the banana bread. All right, so that's fine. We have our frame target in the conversation circle with us. That's a real for both of us. So far, so good.
I think Yeesh is being or DT is being punished here for what has been Yeesh's sloppiness with highlights. He hasn't been doing the highlights for inspects, and so he's not
Uh
highlighted the other suspect.
oh. Okay. So our frame target was low lit real quick, but then brought all the way back up to a highlight now. So this lends more.
Ugh, hate that path.
Yeah, there's been some interesting pathing decisions or just mechanical errors, unforced errors from DT this whole set, really. Um, Meanwhile, though, we're done with our flirts. We have 3 missions done. We need one more inspect or one more mission, but we have the easy one done. So we can either go set up like a 50-50 purloin maybe with 45 seconds left, or just
Anything
hope,
behind the shark.
yeah, or just hope that our frame target does something and gets shot for it.
The one option that really isn't on the table is going to. do another inspect. Had the bug opportunity there, but Yeesh watching it. Good hold.
But Red Dress going to finish her inspects here. This could be terrible. Like Yeesh might have to feel like, yep, and here comes the shot. Maybe, yeah, Yeesh
Look
takes
at
the
what Yeesh is.
shot as Red Dress finishes the flirt. The finishes inspects behind the shark.
Yeah, it's the shark that does it, right? So with the inspects, right? It's picked up about 17 seconds on the clock. You know that's going to take a few seconds for the inspect to actually complete, assuming that they got two at the first one, and then 10 more seconds of mission win countdown. And that's more than enough time to put a bit more pressure on DT. If DT is going to make a break for the ambassador here, you want that opportunity. Yeesh not giving that opportunity, and I think the reason he was so quick on the shot is that top shark coming. Really not wanting to give the opportunity for a dance to Red Dress. Really unfortunate and for Yeesh, but really fortunate for DT. And to DT's credit, extending the game, not forcing the issue, not going and doing a second inspect and just getting a bullet to the head, really gave Red Dress the opportunity. But if you're Yeesh, you're tilted. Like that's about as tilting as it gets.
Well, Yeesh responding to the tilt by going back to some familiar ground here.
Good old twin. Let's do it. Three, two, one, playing it.
So again, Yeesh and his affinity for twins is kind of a running joke for a reason. His Discord profile picture is a twin, of course, and well, this is just more evidence as to why that is the case.
He,
Meanwhile, we're hanging out with the double agent at the bottom left conversation circle, just hanging out while our seduction target meanders around the time ad windows back there, and we're gonna go chase her down now.
you've got me thinking of like Budweiser commercials circa 2006 when you say affinity for twins. Goodness. 34% flirt.
Wow, really calling that one out of the ether.
Yeah. Shout outs to the Zoomers who have no clue what I'm talking about.
All right,
I know
that's
you're
fine.
in
We're time
chat.
outing, by the way.
1%. He only does one. The problem with two time ads is just doing two watch checks in general is a crime worth a bullet. Obviously, doing one time ad is also a crime worth a bullet. But Yush really leaning into the fact that DT hasn't caught them yet, and presumably some of the prep. I don't know how much prep Yush did, but definitely noting that uh, DT's weak against them, and it's paid off. It definitely helped on our spy win. We don't
Okay.
get the fingerprint.
No. Okay. We do a delegate split as General comes and joins us. We're gonna go in here next to the double agent. Are we gonna banana bread to try and distract from the purloin going off? Do you think?
It's bold, and we can always talk about why it's bold. It's just because you're taking general out of the equation. Hopefully, this
Banana bread.
delays the list being seen. Rocker hasn't been low lit, which is concerning. Here we go. General's been low lit, and now our laser's been up near Toby. I feel like the purloin should have been noticed.
It definitely seems like it. We're gonna go. No, we're not gonna go flirt. Instead, we're gonna go to the time ad window in the back left. And are we gonna time ad? Yep. Here it comes. Another white time ad and a second one. Okay. All right.
My man.
Have you been talking to Yeesh about this? Like,
I have not had a conversation with Yeesh about how to beat TT. I have had conversations about DT going, I'm not going to beat Yeesh, but he's doing a good part of it. 4-3 down here. The problem is this is make such a stressful game. Anybody could be finishing with shark shenanigans at any time on Aquarium, especially with the middle sharks. And they're going to have 3 or 4 middle sharks just because of the time ads. Not to mention, Yeesh also has the opportunity to do so himself and finish if we can get a bit kind of a seduction target. No matter what you're doing as DT, you should not have a high consideration as long as you at least looked up at the top right and see that it's 255 and slow ticking.
yeah, I don't think we're a big suspect here either for that purloin. Like, the laser isn't really reacting as if we. Whoa, a shot coming off on Rocker.
We can check it for fingerprint. The real concern is it shouldn't be a shot for Purloin because that has already happened more than a minute ago. If we've
Maybe
somehow just not noticed the list being gone for this long, I'm very concerned.
Maybe it's for the time ads because Rocker had come from the time ad window, and maybe DT just noticed them late and assumed that Rocker could have been the only one who had done them.
Okay, we got Veranda next, and the concern here is for DT. Down 5-3, Veranda's a map that you can win as Spy. It's not impossible, but against Yeesh or against DT, you expect it to be sniper favored. And if Yeesh can pull off two here or even one here, it takes away the winning opportunities. The blessing for DT is we do have Redwoods as our final map, which is always going to be a bit of a toss up, or at least more so than Veranda.
All right. Looks like we have DT here as Alice to start things off. There's a change.
In three, two, one, playing it.
All right. So what's your mindset against a player like Yeesh when you're down and you're kind of late in the set like this? Like, you trying to just play your
We take
game?
this
Do you
one.
try and do something crazy? What's your strategy here?
Are we beating her to the statue? No, different statue. Mom doing the real trick of just putting her feet onto both pads. This sort of play, which we didn't see on library, right? We had a 5-8 seduction target went to statues, and we didn't go flirt and take the inspect. DT is now taking. He's playing a bit bolder, and I think that's in part because he's 5-3 down, and bit part because he's a bit more comfortable. We do eat the highlight here now. Unfortunate, we've seen some AI get away with statues without a highlight. This will definitely put us on top of the list.
Yeah, I mean, Mom and Eden the highlight too. It's hard to tell though if that's like a suspected flirt highlight or an inspect highlight or just general suspicion highlight. Mom doing some bouncing there. We swap.
Oh goodness.
Okay, we just swapped.
We
DT
didn't get
going
the
full
second
aggression.
inspect, which
Nope.
implies that this is a action priority. Brutal, incredibly brutal. Shot to the ponytail. Yeesh has guaranteed themselves the tie and can now play for the win with three to go, including two Redwoods games and a sniper game on Veranda in the driver's seat.
Very nice. And Yeesh looking to clinch things, pulling out the emergency small man.
Break glass, get shorter. Let's go. It's gonna be Yeesh. Brando's a great map for it too. I'm excited. Let's see if he goes quickly with the small man speed, or if he plays it a bit slower. I'm incredibly excited. Let's do it in three, two, one. Playing it. I just did like the Wallace and Gromit like cheese excitement, and just shout outs to the wrong trousers, which Smallman doesn't have. Smallman has great trousers. Who has the most wrong trousers? And why is it cowboy?
How can you focus on anything Cowboy's wearing besides the belt buckle?
No, have you seen the he has the like neckerchief slide
All
of
right,
the horn, which
but
is also legitimate.
here's the thing though. Twins are both wearing like just dark wash jeans that are rolled cuffed at the
Oh
bottom.
yeah, they are the worst.
It's pretty
And
terrible. We
bling
bugged by
and
the way.
oh
Okay,
no.
DT, what you doing there? DT. All right, DT saw the bug.
He knows. He always knows. Yeah, I didn't see the bug coming because it was a nice bug, but the problem is DT knows because DT did see it coming from a mile away. Quick shot there. This will get him onto Redwoods, and I do think, other than maybe just extending the game and be able to take a deep breather,
Oh
uh,
yeah, that was very visible on sniper camera.
it went straight through Alice's legs. Bit rude,
Yeah, no,
honestly.
that was all right. Well, sometimes you take bad bugs and you die for it.
Yeah, Smallman's always a tricky player, right? Or a tricky character because a lot of his things aren't particularly good. His purloin causes a lot of attention to himself. Obviously, he's not a good swap blocker just because you can see over his head. And his bugs, both his walking and his standing, the animations are relatively obvious compared to at least some characters. You're really relying on, well, two things. It's him being uh, short of stature, and potentially like his quick time ads if you're on a map like Courtyard. But if you're gonna stick your hand between Alice's legs and DT is watching for it, he's gonna catch it every time.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, so has Yeesh played a lot of Redwoods? I'm honestly not sure. I seem to recall Yeesh doing some of the beta testing when Redwoods was first announced, but
Yep. Yeesh and myself, I think might have been like the first people at PAX to play Redwoods, and I think we might be the ones who you want to point blame at if you're mad about the number of trees, because we both went and pointed out to Checker, okay, these are the angles that we like, and we kind of agreed on like 2 or 3 angles, and instead of checker making more angles or different angles, checker just put trees in those spots, and so all we have is a lot of trees. So yeah, blame Yeesh. Definitely not me. And we're still match point though, and Redwood's spy is not free with only 3:30 on the clock. It's gonna be DT as red dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, DT starting things off. Missing a pad. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. We're fine. It wasn't seen. We're going over to the far pad here. DT showing some displeasure by 360ing the camera. Not time adding yet here. Um, just waiting for the party to settle down some. I assume we're going to tuck ourselves in next to Disney, our seduction target here. Yep, there it is. We'll pick up an early flirt, and that's a perfectly fine start. A cromulent one, you might say.
Uh, are you ahead of me? I do not see the flirt yet. Uh-oh. What's the time on your clock, Sped?
2:53. All right, I'll just pause it.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
All right.
No, they just hadn't done the flirt yet. They were setting up for the flirt. You tricked me. So we do have a contact here if we want it. The problem is the big conversation circle in the back is completely empty. And we're really relying on the DA being, or the SD, I should say, being in that front conversation. It's probably not advisable, especially with someone going to bookcase like Orange Sorry is now.
I want to make one thing clear. Cromulent is not an SAT word. It is a made-up word. And if you are not a Zoomer, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Season 6?
Oh God, I don't remember.
I'm just ignoring the fact that we're not going to tell him the reference point. Nobody in chat, don't spoil it.
Banana bread.
We got
Anyway,
fake banana bread, and I think it's a really good one. It makes general look suspicious, and it makes a whole front conversation look suspicious. We are not getting the fake lowlights there from Yeesh, though he has been known to take them. I think a good decision there from DT, even without the lowlight.
yeah, and even just the one low light, really, really helpful. This conversation circle, unfortunately, is full, so we can't jam ourselves in there to pick up a flirt. But our next target is going to come to. Nope, never mind. I thought the next target was going to throw us a bone. Instead, going to the briefcase instead, so we can't even flirt on the window pad down there. That is unfortunate. Bit of a tease, but that's fine. We're just going to go into the bar instead, next to the ambassador, pick up this finger dead and get highlight
Yeah, I
for
think
our
this
troubles.
has generally been Yeesh's strategy on the bar maps is just using the highlights for bar. But it really doesn't help that he's doing that, then reminding him that he also got the fingerprint here. We have no mission completion in Pocket. The fingerprint is just the start of it, but with only a minute left, DT might need to pull off Yishi's trick of putting in a timeout or two.
Well, here it comes. There is the timeout. It's a white test, unfortunately. No real reaction from Yeesh. The laser's sort of trickling over, but it looks like we're okay. We've gotten away with it, but we still need to get on our horse here. As you said, really no mission progress done, and even with that time at under a minute 30 remaining, we take a really goofy path here into this conversation circle in a very buggable spot as well behind the tree. I feel like we're in bad shape.
The
Banana
problem with
bread.
this banana bread is it takes out the purloiner, and so any attempt at a frame game's kind of just out of the window. And we don't have enough mission completion to really rush down 2 missions quickly. We're really going to be leaning into the fact
Banana
that we have
bread.
the time at. That's not what we want to do. The safety comes off on us. This could be match. It
There it
is.
is. Yep.
It's always a relief when you're the sniper and you just confirm after the match that's the right shot. We get one more victory lap here from Yeesh. She's not doing it as Smallman. It's going to be a Redwood spy game. But good job to Yeesh. Congratulations on winning this. And DT, this won't ruin them in the groups. They have a strong favorite going into the other 2 matches, but really, when you're playing against someone at as quality as Yeesh, being 7-4 down, if it ends up being 8-4 or 7-5, you're not going to be disappointing yourself.
Definitely not. And worth noting as well that despite DT being the favorite, tiebreakers do count. So DT definitely wants to pick up this win here as well, both for tiebreaker purposes and potentially for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, so this group, we'll get started on this game actually real quick, but I can talk about who this group has to face in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Got Queen here going. This group has a pretty tough matchup going into the first round of bracket. I believe it's like Screw Loose and Beanie are the potential favorites to come out of the group, but it's a really tough group that they're matched up against. And for someone like Beanie, it's like, okay, you get Yeesh or DT. You get one of the previous winners. It's not a brilliant look for them, but you want to win this match because then you get whoever is not playing out of their mind in the other group.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, neither of those players are at all slouches or pushovers, regardless. And if somebody comes through and manages to upset them to make their way through, then that player will be something to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah. Someone in chat will definitely put the group I'm talking about. And we have no mission completion. We've chosen a good time to
Banana bread.
ramble. We do have the banana bread here. It's not terrible, but we are going to lose both the twins and everybody who is at a mission site, basically. The back conversation being empty again is actually quite familiar. It's what happened to DT, too, that put them in a time bind.
All I meanwhile kind of split from that and went right into finish his inspects. I think to his second book as well. So small man doing small man things and could potentially be picking up a lot of suspicion here.
Meanwhile, we are heading off to this blue bookcase with really no cover and nothing else to watch back here. Just for the fingerprint, but we do also take the microphone. The white test might be enough. DT's not onto it.
You should have been pulling off these microfilms quite a bit, including one like directly on camera behind the ambassador and library. But it looks like we're fine here. We're gonna go pick up this flirt next to small man, 51%, very nice. DT spending a lot of attention. Looks like keeping Twin on his scope. I wonder if this is partially due to the meta that Yeesh had built up in the beginning of the set.
I do like that idea. No, I think we had the conversation there yesterday when talking about players like Lev Trotsky, and I think it also applies to DT and most campy players in general. Where if you're watching for swap and Purloin and
Oh,
Bug,
okay.
bye bye Twin. Eat for Yeesh. Um, and I think it kind of fell apart there at the end because it was very close. It really felt like it could have gone either way at the start of the set. But shooting a twin, it's thematic.
Yep. Kind of puts a nice bookend on the set. Yep. I mean, sometimes you just have to take that shot too. Like Twin, I believe already had real banana bread. This Twin finishing inspects comes in and picks up what looked like pretty quick flirt there. Makes sense.
I think he was out for banana bread, which is the concern. If it wasn't, it was a split and it was really nasty. I'm not sure where the mistake was here. Uh, I do love, by the way, on the picks, the old art versus Smallman for Back to the Classics and Small Revenge.